Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're breaking down FlutterSeed. Now, if you build with Flutter, you already know how incredibly fast you can craft beautiful UIs. But we also know the dark side, right? Starting a new project. We're going to unpack how FlutterSeed uses visual scaffolding to literally eliminate all of that initial friction. You can design your architecture visually and ship it in minutes. Let's get right into it.
Stop wasting your first 3 days setting up Flutter projects. Okay, let's talk about this universal groan among developers. You sit down, you've got a killer idea, but before you can write a single line of feature code, what happens? You're stuck. You're manually setting up folder structures, wiring up environments, and fighting day one linting errors. It's tedious, it's boring, and honestly, it completely drains your momentum before the project even really begins. Think about the old, painful way we used to do this with manual setup. It's a tangled mess of manual decisions, setup drift, ad hoc package choices, and totally varying output depending on who initialized the repository. Well, FlutterSeed replaces that snail's pace with a deterministic, node-based config. You get curated packages, preset themes, and a highly repeatable generated scaffold right out of the gate. It's a total game changer.
So here is our roadmap for the Explainer. We'll look at the boilerplate problem, visual scaffolding with FlutterSeed, choosing your state management, which is a huge focus for us today, backends, routing and packages, templates and team workflows, and finally, shipping in minutes.
All right, Section 1, the Flutter boilerplate problem.
Every single time you start a new project, you hit this exact same wall. You're writing repetitive boilerplate just to get basic routing and state talking to each other. Developer A builds a feature-first architecture, while developer B prefers layer-first. And the result? Inconsistent architecture choices, setup drift across developers, and hours completely wasted instead of actually building your features.
Which brings us to Section 2, visual scaffolding with FlutterSeed.
Instead of hiding your choices in endless command line prompts, you control everything on a visual graph. Step 1, you pick your architecture and theme. Step 2, you select your state, routing, and backend nodes, connecting them visually. And Step 3, just export a perfectly wired, production-ready zip file. Boom, you're done.
Now, the absolutely crucial point here is this concept of deterministic generation. To be clear, this isn't some black box spitting out unpredictable AI-generated code. Not at all. The graph state maps directly into a scaffold config and template output in a highly predictable pipeline. What you see in the graph is exactly what you get in the generated code. Every single node maps to clean, idiomatically correct Dart code.
Moving on to Section 3, choosing your state management. Now, this is our main focus for today's Explainer, because if you've been in the Flutter community for more than 5 minutes, you know this is absolutely the single most debated topic out there.
Just look at this lineup of available state management types. Whether your team relies on the strict, event-driven structure of block and qubit, or you love the compile time safety of Riverpod, or maybe you just prefer provider or GetX, FlutterSeed acts as totally neutral ground. You literally just drag your preferred state management node onto the canvas, and it generates the precise, production-ready boilerplate for that specific stack. You can even choose custom or none if that's what you need.
And you know, this actually unlocks an amazing side effect if you're wanting to learn the difference between, say, Block and Riverpod. Because reading tutorials only gets you so far, right? With this, you can generate 2 identical projects side by side, one wired with Block, one with Riverpod, and directly compare how they handle dependency injection and state updates in real production code. It is an unmatched learning tool. Okay, Section 4, backends, routing, and packages. Wiring up backends is usually where things really start to get tangled. But here, you just connect a backend node for Firebase, Supabase, or Apprite. As you can see, the engine automatically integrates the exact initialization sequence for auth, databases, storage, and even serverless functions. No more hunting through documentation just to figure out what goes in your main.dart file.
To finish up your foundational architecture, you just snap in your routing strategy. GoRouter, AutoRoute, or Navigator 2.0, it sets up the router config perfectly. Need to talk to a custom backend? Just drop in a REST API generic HTTP client or a GraphQL setup. You can even add literally any custom package from pub.dev directly into the visual graph, ensuring all your dependencies are locked in before you write your first line of UI code. Let's zoom out a bit for Section 5, templates and team workflows. You know, you don't even have to start from a blank graph. FlutterSeed includes a curated UI library. Need an e-commerce app template? A social media platform? An admin dashboard? a habit tracker, or just basic login, OTP, and onboarding screens? You just preview it, copy the Dart code, and paste it directly into your newly generated foundation. You are off to the races immediately. And this builds incredible value across every type of team workflow. For indie developers, it's all about launching MVPs fast. For startups, it gives you repeatable configs, but for agencies and enterprise teams, it's about absolute standardization and client consistency. If your agency strictly uses RiverPod, GoRouter, and Supabase, you just create that graph once. Every new developer now starts from those exact same team defaults for every single client project.
Finally, Section 6, shipping in minutes.
Because the output from FlutterSeed is pure, idiomatic Flutter code without any weird proprietary wrappers or platform-specific hacks, you retain Flutter's biggest superpower. The moment you unzip your generated project, you are instantly ready to deploy across Android, iOS, web, macOS, Windows, and Linux. No messy workarounds required.
But the true bottom-line value really just comes down to time. By turning architectural decisions into visual nodes, you are saving a massive 10 to 20 hours of tedious setup, routing configuration, and boilerplate per project. That is literally days of engineering time handed right back to you.
Which brings us to our final thought. If your app's foundation can be generated in 60 seconds, what unique features will you build with the time you saved? It really leaves you wondering why anyone codes boilerplate by hand anymore. When your specific type of state management is perfectly wired, your routing is flawless, and your backend is connected before you even open your IDE, you get to focus entirely on what makes your app special. So go experiment visually, claim your engineering time back, and keep building.